Please be seated. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite Ms. Jacinta Tobin, a representative of the Darug people, to offer the traditional welcome to country. Ms. Tobin.
Good afternoon, everyone. Na Jacinta Tobin of Waramali, and we are on Wadagal country. My name is Jacinta Tobin. I'm from the Darug people. All my mothers have been born here for 60,000 years, and we married a couple of Irishmen along the way. First of all, I'd like to congratulate you all for getting through it and getting to this day. It's not easy, I know that. And also to family for supporting them through that, because it's not easy on you guys either. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge my elders past and present, and I always do my welcomes with song. I'll translate it for you because I don't sing it in English. It's a path of light to love, to sing, to dance, black and white make many one, and our Darug spirits, they live, they remain. Murukili numbari buri arangara bara bura kari bangawara wago jaralang kumida nalawan. Murukili numbari buri arangara bara bura kari bangawara wago jaralang kumida nalawan. Murukili numbari buri arangara bara bura kari bangawara wago jaralang kumada nalawan. That's to me, to speak country and to sing in language actually is massaging the country, and because we don't separate our body from our country. And when we say we are connected to the land and the land is us and we are the land, it's science, let's face it. We're all made up of atoms and molecules, and without our surroundings we couldn't come to be who we are. We're mostly made of water. And that's one of the things our family were renowned for, especially all my mothers, so mum's mum, her mum, all came from the Wamali, which is a prospect people. But we married into the Burrabaronga, which were from the Richmond clan. And the Burrabaronga were renowned as healers. And my 7th generation grandfather, Yarramundi, he was around when Macquarie came to town. And he was renowned as a healer. And so the tradition that you're walking with is something that's been here for 60,000 years. So it's a long time of healing in this country. And so I'd like to welcome you all to country, and I'd like to thank Macquarie for actually letting us do the welcomes and for you to realise that we're still here. Didgerigal.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to introduce the Chancellor of Macquarie University, the Honourable Michael Egan, AO.
Thank you, Jacinta Tobin, for your welcome to country. Well, ladies and gentlemen, or first of all, graduands, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and I see also this afternoon we have a few tiny tots with us and a few babes in arms, and they are most welcome. Now, what does concern me, though, is that we have 3 or 4 mothers down the back holding their babies, obviously positioned to make a hasty retreat if they start to cry or make a noise. You don't have to do that. We'd much prefer you to come back in and sit down. We will not be bothered in the slightest by any noise they make, or if they start to cry, they're more than welcome to run around and make the noises that babies make. In fact, we've discovered from experience that the louder and longer a baby wails through a graduation ceremony, the more likely he or she is to come back to take out their first PhD within 25 years. So we actually like it. And don't forget, a graduation ceremony is a celebration. And there are not too many celebrations that aren't enhanced by the attendance of children. So please feel free to stay and enjoy the ceremony. Now, graduands, it's my very great privilege to preside at this important ceremony today. I hope today is going to be a very happy and a very memorable occasion for all of you, but it will only be a happy occasion if you all relax. Some of you do look quite relaxed and happy, but others of you look as though you're about to go into the exam room rather than collect your degrees. So take it easy. Nothing can go wrong today. The very worst thing that can happen is that when you come up here, you can fall over. That has happened, but it's not a problem. That's what all these people are here for, to pick you up and send you on your way. So just sit back and relax, because you deserve to enjoy the day. You should take great pride in your graduation, because completing a degree is never easy. You need an intelligent and inquiring mind. You need determination and perseverance, and you need to make many sacrifices. So welcome and congratulations to each and every one of you. Today I'd also like to welcome, and especially welcome, those of you who are sitting over there or behind our graduands as their invited guests. Because if you think about it for just a moment, you've clearly all done very well too. The very fact that you're here, the very fact that you've been invited by one of our graduands to share one of the great days of their lives is proof positive that you've been very important in their lives and in the successes that we celebrate today. So mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters, cousins, sons and daughters, grandmothers and grandfathers, friends, husbands and wives, partners, boyfriends, girlfriends, lovers, or whatever you are, congratulations, and thank you for celebrating this great occasion with us. And I don't want you to think either that observing today's graduation is the end of your role, because I have another important service for you to perform for our newest graduates, as they will soon become. I want you to make sure that the degrees they receive today are never ever put in a bottom drawer, but are always proudly displayed in a position of prominence. In other words, if our graduands are too self-effacing to proclaim their own success, you make sure that you do it for them. Now, the ceremony that we're about to participate in is one of the world's oldest social rituals. For centuries, graduates have been donning robes just like the ones our graduands are wearing today, and participating in ceremonies just like this one. Indeed, there are some 50 universities in the world which can trace their history back more than 500 years. Now, obviously, Macquarie University is not one of those 50 universities. By comparison, we're only very young. In fact, 50 years of age this year. This is our 50th Jubilee year. But in those 50 years, we've come a long way. We now have graduates living in more than 140 countries. And next week, Tuesday or Wednesday, we will celebrate our 150,000th graduate. So that will be quite a milestone. Macquarie is a very modern and outward-looking university. We're regarded as one of Australia's leading research universities, and are extending our research, our course offerings, and also our facilities. We're always trying to engage with the world around us. We've forged strong alliances with the community and with industry and commerce, and are keen to establish more. In recent years, we've added quite a number of impressive new facilities to our campus. On your way here today, you may have seen our relatively new Macquarie University Hospital, which was opened about 3 years ago. We're the only university in Australia with its own private hospital. We don't have an undergraduate medical degree, but we do have a postgraduate one. And the hospital is not only used for its primary purpose of treating sick people, but also by the students and the professional and academic staff in our School of Advanced Medicine. And I can tell you, it's a 180-bed hospital, and I can tell you the care is absolutely first class. I know that from first-hand experience. I was a patient there for 3 days last year, and the care is absolutely excellent, especially if you're the Chancellor. You may also have seen our new library, which is very popular with our students, and also our new Advanced Hearing Hub, which was opened last year and is a world-leading institute dedicated to advances in hearing, speech and language sciences. So we're looking forward and we're on the move. We want Macquarie always to be a leader in teaching and learning and a leader in the accumulation of knowledge and understanding. In other words, an ideal community of scholars. And graduands, in just a few minutes, it will be my very great honour to confer your degrees upon you and welcome you as lifelong members of that community of scholars we proudly call Macquarie University. Thank you.
Chancellor, I call on Mr Martin Alexander Scoot, who's graduating today with a Masters of Chiropractic, to speak on behalf of the graduating group.
Chancellor, members of the university, fellow graduates and guests. It was over 5 years ago that we first walked into this very room carrying a piece of paper that allowed us to enrol in our first units at Macquarie University. Today, we will leave with another piece of paper, but as very different people. Our time at university has given us new skills, new knowledge and understanding, but most importantly, a new way of thinking. A way of thinking that has us wanting to know why and how, rather than simply what. To all who have taught us, many of whom are on stage behind me, we thank you as much for making us think as we do for the knowledge you have passed on. I can still remember Aaron, one of our lecturers, furiously drawing stick men with goggles and hats on a whiteboard in an attempt to explain critical thinking to us. That lecture changed the way that I think about thinking, for which I am very grateful. When we leave this room, we must rely not only on our piece of paper or even the skills and knowledge that we have acquired at university, but rather on this ability to think. Our ability to think enables us to explore and refine our skills, to expand and apply our knowledge. This critical exploratory thinking applies not only to our understanding and our application of what we do, but also must be applied to our motivations. A busy practice as chiropractors, financial success and material goals are all motivators, but we need to think critically, as we've learned to do over our time at Macquarie. These things indicate that we are successful at what we do, but really, what is it that we do? What are we doing as chiropractors? Surely, the answer to that question is helping people as best we can. If we keep this as our fundamental motivation, the rest should be simple. We will practice ethically. We will hone our skills and develop new ones. We will read research and reflect on its findings. We will admit that sometimes we could have done better, and we will do better. We will help people and we will make a difference. The piece of paper that we leave with today allows us to see patients, but what we have learnt at university allows us to help them. We thank all of you who have helped us, teachers, family, friends and members of the profession. To my fellow graduates, I wish you all the best in your careers, whatever they may be, private practice, research or something completely different. But it is up to us to make the best of the education we have been given and to continue to develop ourselves. Keep learning and keep thinking. Thank you.
Well done, Martin. That was a fine speech with some really excellent messages. Help people as best you can and keep thinking. Now, they're two very important principles which will stand you in very, very good stead throughout your life. So congratulations. I'm sure you'll have a very successful practice and I am sure a very successful life. Well done. Congratulations on your degree. I think he deserves another great round of applause. Well, I told you earlier there's nothing to worry about, nothing to get nervous about, but we're now at the important part of the proceedings, the reason you're all here, that's the conferring of degrees, and that's the bit that makes me just a little bit nervous, because I have it on the best legal advice in the land that if I give you a degree that you're not entitled to receive, I can't take it back. So I have to be absolutely certain that you're all eligible today to graduate. So for that reason, I need to call upon our Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Students and Registrar, Deirdre Anderson, to give me an absolute ironclad guarantee that none of you ever missed a class or were ever late in submitting an assignment. Deputy Vice-Chancellor.
Chancellor, I certify that all the candidates being presented here today and those who are absent have satisfied the requirements of Academic Senate for the degrees and diplomas they are to be awarded. Would all candidates for admission to degrees and diplomas please stand?
Graduates, in the name of the Council of Macquarie University and by my authority as Chancellor, I admit each of you present and those who are absent to the degrees and diplomas for which you have qualified. Graduates, congratulations.
Will you please be seated? Chancellor, the graduates at this ceremony are from the Faculty of Science. This faculty teaches courses and conducts research about people and our physical environment, and is the home of a number of internationally recognised research centres. It has close links with industry and is building firm future partnerships, especially with companies located both locally and internationally. The faculty includes research and study areas in biological sciences, chemistry, biomolecular sciences, chiropractic, computing, earth and planetary sciences, environment and geography, mathematics, physics, astronomy, engineering and statistics. Chancellor, I now call on Professor Leslie Hughes, the Deputy Executive Dean of the Faculty of Science, to present the graduates. Professor Hughes.
Chancellor, I present to you the graduates from the Faculty of Science whom you have admitted to degrees. I present graduates admitted to the Master of Chiropractic. Youssef Abu Hashem. Do Hyun An. Elizabeth Ann Ashton. Shabil Shazad Askar. Laura Ann Aslan. Matthew Benjamin Barry. Joshua Basham. Ashley Kate Batters. Ella Catherine Bourne. Andrew Bryant. Matthew Vincent Boucher. Say Fan Kelvin Chu. Nicholas. Yeah, good. Nicholas David Barrett Dorr. Zachary John De Goya. Kirsten Cherie Del Rio. George Diab. Burak Dinch. Eileen Ding. Jian Du. Hayley Jade Duncan. Mark El Hayek. Laura Elliott. Andrew Farah. Theologos Vengaros. Kieran Finnegan. Fong Shern Jie Amos. Daniel Forgione. Alain Frabotta. Aurélie Gauthier. Crystal Marie Gavenlock. Lindsay Mary Gorrell. Lincoln Aaron Hansen. Dylan James Harvey. James Eric Hayes. Wayne Stephen Headley. June Her. Phúc Hui Hoon. Louis Jen. Samuel Thomas Johnson. Fiona Margaret Johnston. Purnima Kant. Prudence Amber Kenny. Kasia Kielishek. Jin Woong Kim. Tae Hyun Kim. David Philip Knight. Nico Tuatan Lark. Kailing Eileen Lay. Annette Christina Lajumin. Jenny Lay. Adrian Emily Lay. Stephen Lee. Andre Bertozzi Machado. Marie Ilma Markovina. Eliza Jane Martin. Michael Leonard Miller. Joshua Patrick Murphy. Daniel John Murray. Girks Unju. Sarah Jade O'Neill. Talia Rebecca Parahi. Dean William Peterson, who has been awarded the Vice-Chancellor's Commendation for Academic Excellence. Alexandra Page Poulos. Jack McMahon Rogers. Dean Michael Roods. Tracy Leanne Rose. Iris' son Rudy. George Saba. Martin Alexander Shute. Evan Dean Scamotta. Alexander Thierry Sin Kwok Wong. Belinda K. Small. Michael Kenneth Smith. Grace Elizabeth Stephen. Ashley Suckling. Cassandra Tan. David Tiong Shin Tan. Wan Chi Valerie Teo. Thomas Peter Terrell. Lee Jen Wong. I present diplomates awarded the Graduate Diploma of Chiropractic Science. Jasmine Rammel. Kanyawarat Tanpipat. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Chiropractic Science. Ruby Ainsworth. James Adam Bancroft. Lucy Claire Bartlett. Nancy Bittar. Ashley Broad. Yoon Jun Bu. Andrea Louise Carroll. Christopher Luke Cattell. Darren Chung. Grant Robert Colombo. Juliana Wendy Ellis. Gabrielle Falconer. Esther Ellen Finn. Thomas James Foster. Amber Glanville. George High. Thomas Ham. Laura Hill. Richard Can. Rachel Elizabeth Collig. Nicholas Andrew Lelevre. Scott Aidan Leabeater. Xiao K. Lin. Angus Stewart McIntyre. Patrick Mark McNamara. Christopher John Metcalf. Nicola Suzanne Mitchell. Dana Michelle Moore. Jessica Sophie Annabelle Nash. T. Nguyen. T. Bao Ngor Nguyen. Sophie Claire Parish. Joshua Duncan Parker. Michelle Louise Parsons. Bryce Sydney Thomas Peters. Rebecca Jane Player. Julian Policina. Christy Lee Roberts. Peter Marie Rowlands. Kirsten Scollay. Jessica Cito Reguera. Stephen Anthony Sharp. Gabe Smith. Ira Tapa. Alexander Tropia. Simon Paul Vella. Luke Mitchell Vaverka. Jacqueline Kate Wallace. Utpala Kashela Wanagasakara. Shane Weinberg. Luke White. Elise Wilcox. Trevor Wong. Chancellor, that completes this afternoon's presentation of the graduates from the Faculty of Science.
Se non ci sei tu con me. Time to say goodbye.
Well, that wasn't too bad, was it? That beautiful voice, ladies and gentlemen, belongs to Angela Brewer. And I can't tell you how lucky you've been today to have Angela singing at your graduation, because although she sings at most of our graduations, she can't always get to all of them. And when she can't get here, I do the singing. So you've been very fortunate. Now you can hear Angela sing a little bit more if you like. Would you like that? Okay, well, don't jump your guns. It's very simple. You enrol in another degree, and when you come back for your graduation, I'll make sure Angela's here singing. I think she deserves another great round of applause. As do our fabulous musicians on the organ, Dr. James Forsyth. And on the trumpet, Melanie McLaughlin. And over here on the side and over there on the side, we also have some of our alumni volunteers who come along to make sure everything goes smoothly at the graduation ceremonies. They deserve a great round of applause too. And haven't the children and babies been well behaved? I think they deserve a round of applause too. Well, it's now my pleasure to introduce our occasional speaker, Dr. John Sweeney. Since graduating as a chiropractor from the Canadian Memorial Chiropractic College in 1968, Dr. Sweeney has been actively involved in professional and educative chiropractic activities in Australia and internationally. From 1969 to 1984, he held various positions on the Australian Chiropractors Association's National Board, serving as its president from 1979 to 1981. In 1985, he was appointed full-time executive director of the Australian Chiropractors Association. Dr. Sweeney's involvement with chiropractic education has included representation on chiropractic course advisory committees for both RMIT and Macquarie universities, and more recently as a consultant on behalf of the Australasian Council on Chiropractic Education to Murdoch University and to two Japanese institutions assisting in the development of new university-based chiropractic programs. In Japan, he has represented the University of Southern California, Murdoch University, and Chiropractic Education Australia, facilitating undergraduate and postgraduate chiropractic education. Internationally, Dr. Sweeney was a foundation director of the World Federation of Chiropractic, serving on that body's board for 12 years, and as president from 1995 till 1998. As a chiropractic advisor to the World Health Organization, Dr. Sweeney was responsible for developing the World Health Organization's guidelines on chiropractic education. In 2003, Dr. Sweeney was granted a member of the Order of Australia for service to the advancement of the chiropractic profession through professional organisations. In 2009, he was honoured with a Doctor of Science honoris causa at Murdoch University. He has served the Commonwealth Government on the Professional Services Review Tribunal as National Advisor to the Department of Veterans Affairs and on a National Health and Medical Research Council committee evaluating the guidelines for the medical management of musculoskeletal conditions. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. John Sweeney.
This looks a little dangerous. Chancellor, an impressive faculty and distinguished colleagues, distinguished guests and graduates. Recently, I participated in an organisational strategy planning workshop, an intense 3 days of corporate soul searching, purpose evaluation, and the establishment of guidelines for future directions. In today's world of remarkable rapid change, I was surprised that the process and certainly its perceived importance were much as they had been over 40 years ago when it became popular as an important management exercise. A vision, a mission, a set of values, principles, goals, objectives, and a detailed action plan were all addressed. Our lives cannot be so directed and controlled, but we can benefit by identifying and embracing the principal elements of strategic planning. Of course, maintaining flexibility in considering opportunities is imperative. However, establishing a clear vision for your future is invaluable. And in reality, your values and your principles don't change. Essentially, these components remain the foundations for your future. Goals and action plans have to be regularly reassessed, and of course, priorities periodically redefined. I do appreciate that everyone has either a developing or an advanced understanding of our profession, chiropractic. The profession must satisfy certain important criteria, and as professionals, we must reflect those qualities and adhere to the obligations involved. Firstly, a profession must be based upon a unique body of knowledge. In chiropractic, we believe we have this base. Secondly, a profession involves quality education. Your university certainly has satisfied this criteria. Thirdly, there must be ongoing expansion of the knowledge base through postgraduate scholarly activity and research. This means as professionals, we must all be committed to lifelong learning, and hopefully many of you will consider further formal tertiary studies and research. And finally, a profession provides an altruistic contribution to the betterment of society. For the individual, This may involve any number of different activities. But as professionals, we must be mindful of the privileges that we enjoy and the responsibilities inherent in that status. We must generously extend our unique services, at times without remuneration, to those in need and perhaps less fortunate than ourselves. Has nothing changed since I went to college? Of course, a great deal has altered the healthcare landscape in Australia, including legislation governing chiropractic, university-based education, and the responsibilities of registration. These have meant greater recognition, if greater accountability. Such developments have also impacted on your career options. In the 1960s and prior to that, over 98% of graduates pursued a clinical career in exclusively private chiropractic practices. This, of course, will remain the career pathway for many of you, but do consider the other options that now exist or are emerging. Globally, the profession desperately needs more qualified chiropractic academics. When I graduated, there were 15 accredited chiropractic courses, all within private institutions. Now there are over 40 university-based programs, with a further 3 or 4 coming into existence every year. Similarly, in 1964, the profession boasted only one DC PhD. We would now have well over 400 PhD DCs. We also would have almost 200 medically qualified chiropractors. In spite of this growth, the research output of the profession remains regrettably limited. This must be urgently addressed if we are to survive as a profession and not simply become a clinical vocation. Other career opportunities exist already in specialisation, both as individuals and within multidisciplinary teams, particularly in sports medicine and rehabilitation. Chiropractors engaged in hospitals and other community health facilities are finally emerging in Australia. As a profession, we must encourage this, as it strengthens collaboration between health disciplines and enhances clinical research. This has already impressively occurred in the USA, Canada, and a number of European countries. It also effectively breaks down barriers of misunderstanding about chiropractic from other health providers. So what will this mean for you as our future chiropractic profession? You must accommodate the progression towards integrative medicine. There has always been a danger in strenuously defending professional boundaries, as it potentially jeopardises the healthcare which truly embraces a patient-centred approach. The contribution will be based upon recognised and acknowledged expertise in a particular field. There is now developing, though only in its infancy, a research culture amongst all healthcare providers. Generally, within our profession, clinicians are beginning to participate actively in research and do accept the responsibilities of only practicing in an evidence-based manner. Eventually, there will also be equality of access to health care, including chiropractic, for all Australians. As professionals, have confidence in your skills, but be respectful and utilise the skills of others in your patient management. Appreciate your influence and authority over patients. Use it judiciously, with honesty and always in your patient's best interests. Finally, recognise your immense capacity and individual potential. To quote Richard Bernstein, who was in Australia recently speaking at a convention addressing disability, everyone has bad days, but you are succeeding if the good days outnumber the bad. Richard was born totally blind, has completed a prestigious law degree and controls a major law firm that specialises in cases where it is considered the disabled are disadvantaged. He has also, though, mastered many sporting skills, completing 18 marathons and a number of maxi endurance Ironman events around the world. His irrepressible enthusiasm for life is impressive, and his accomplishments certainly inspirational. The quality and extent of your attainments similarly needs to have no limitations. Be ambitious in your professional expectations, passionate in all aspects of life, and enjoy the rewards that your chiropractic profession will deliver you. Thank you.
Be passionate in all aspects of your life. That's pretty good advice. It was, I think, Confucius who said, wherever you go, make sure you go with all your heart. And John, that was a marvellous address. Thank you very much for it. And graduates, I'm sure you'll feel very privileged to have not only such an eminent Australian give the occasional address at your graduation today, but also a man who is a highly regarded leader of your profession, not just in Australia, but internationally. And I think John deserves another great round of applause. Well, graduates, this ceremony marks the end of one stage in your relationship with Macquarie University, but it's certainly not the end of your association with Macquarie. From today on, for the rest of your lives, you are part of the bigger Macquarie family, which is our alumni, and part of the network of 150,000 Macquarie alumni who now span the globe. We'll keep in touch with you through our alumni program, which is focused on lifelong learning, lifelong support, and lifelong connections. Our commitment to you is to help you keep in touch and engaged with Macquarie throughout your life. And please do make sure that you come back to Macquarie, either to undertake more study, as John has suggested, or to attend alumni events, or perhaps to use our aquatic and fitness facilities, or even, if the mood takes you, as it often does on nice days, to just come back with some friends and family members and enjoy a picnic down by the lake. Well, graduates, the award of a university degree carries many opportunities and privileges, but like all privileges, it also carries responsibilities. Believe it or not, you, each and every one of you, can change the world. and you don't have to be a Nobel Prize winner to do it either. Because almost everything you do, in your homes, in your workplaces, and in your communities matters and can make a huge difference. The consequences of every effort, every action, large or small, can reverberate throughout society, through the decades, indeed the centuries. Even something as simple as a kind word or a kind gesture can often be the spark that ignites a great life or a great career or a great achievement. So as Chancellor of Macquarie University, I charge you to use what you have learned, not only for your own benefit, but also for the betterment of the community. I charge you to use the skills and knowledge you have acquired with rigour and integrity, and to commit yourselves to a program of lifelong learning and inquiry. I charge you to recognise the worth and dignity of all people, particularly those who have not had the opportunities that you have enjoyed. I charge you to set high goals and to continue the hard work that has brought you so far. And in all you do, I charge you to uphold the good name of Macquarie University. Now, graduates, I hope also that you'll always remember the people who have helped you along the way, many of whom, of course, are here with you today. So to acknowledge their contribution and thank them for it, I'm now going to ask you to do a couple of things. Graduates, would you now please stand? And please put your degrees on the seats behind you so that your hands are free. And now I'd like you to turn to face your family and friends. And now I invite you to give them a mighty round of applause. Now, graduates, you can turn around now, and I might remind you to pick up your degrees. I don't want you leaving them behind. But don't sit down, because we will be moving out in just a moment. Now, on the dais up here are representatives of our academic community who, of course, have helped you along the way, and I think they deserve a round of applause too. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the official party will now leave the graduation hall through the centre aisle, and we will be followed by all of the graduates. I would invite everyone to now please stand. And please remain standing until the last of the graduates have processed out. And then I invite you all to join us in the marquee overlooking the lake for some light refreshments. Well, graduates, I wish you all the very best for the future. And in the words of the old Irish blessing, may the road rise up to meet you. May the wind always be at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face and rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Graduates, good luck.